clicked on this video for the full breakdown of the Apple Watch Series 11. And that's exactly what you're getting. What it's really saying is, yes, the Apple Watch Series 11 is technically a smartwatch, but calling it that undersells it. It's no longer just about notifications, fitness tracking, or telling the time. Apple has built something that can literally step in during moments where your health, or even your life, is on the line. And buried inside this device is a single feature that could redefine how we think about personal technology, healthcare, and safety. Today, I'm giving you the full review of the Series 11 design, performance, battery, and yes, that new health feature everyone's whispering about. Stick around until the end, because I'll also tell you whether you should buy this, or save your money. Let's start with the design. At first glance, the Series 11 doesn't scream new. Same polished body, same digital crown, same overall silhouette you've seen before. But here's the twist. It's lighter, not dramatically, not gimmicky, just enough that you actually feel the difference after a full day on your wrist. And that matters, because anyone who's ever taken their watch off halfway through the day knows the truth. Sometimes, it's not the battery that gives up, it's your patience. The weight builds, it presses, it nags. The Series 11 solves that without changing the look you're used to. Well, I've got to ask, do you notice the weight of your watch creeping up on you after hours? Or is that just me being overly sensitive? The display? It's brighter than anything we've seen before, hitting up to 3,000 nits. What that means in real life is simple. Whether you're under the harshest sunlight, or walking down a brightly lit street, the screen doesn't fade or force you to squint. It's the difference between straining to read tiny text on your phone, and glancing at a billboard that's crystal clear from across the street. And yes, Apple has finally nailed the wrist raise responsiveness. You lift your arm, and the screen lights up instantly. No more waiting, no more that split-second hesitation where you're unsure if it registered your movement. It's immediate. It feels natural, like the watch actually knows you're paying attention. Now, this is where things get serious. Apple didn't just make a fancier screen or a faster chip, they added a new stress monitoring feature that quietly keeps an eye on your body. It tracks subtle shifts in your blood, oxygen levels, and heart rate, picking up on micro changes you might not even notice. If something's off, your watch can alert you before it becomes a problem. Think of it like having a personal health sentinel on your wrist, nudging you to slow down or take a breather before things escalate. And then there's the updated fall detection. This isn't just the same feature from last year, it now understands cycling crashes and other high-impact situations much more accurately. In a real-world scenario, this could mean the difference between emergency services arriving in minutes versus hours. It's one of those features you hope you never have to use, but when you do, it matters immensely. Would you trust a device on your wrist to call for help if you couldn't? It's a question that sounds simple, but the implications are huge. This isn't just convenience, it's potentially life-saving technology. Battery life. Apple officially says you're looking at 24 hours with normal use. In practice, my real-world testing told a slightly different story, more like 22 hours. But that includes heavy use, workouts, GPS tracking, constant notifications, and music streaming. Still, here's the part that makes it work in your favor. You can now charge up to 80% in just 30 minutes. What that means is even if you forget to plug it in overnight, a quick top-up while you're in the shower, making breakfast, or grabbing your coffee, can carry you comfortably through the rest of the day. You're not chained to an outlet, and that's a subtle but huge convenience. Here's where the Apple Watch still has no rival: the ecosystem. It's not just one standout feature that makes it impressive. It's the way everything works together so smoothly. You can unlock your Mac with just a flick of your wrist, glance at a message without picking up your phone, tap to pay for coffee in a second. Each of these may seem small on its own, but they stack up to a level of convenience no other smartwatch has matched. It's the quiet orchestration of dozens of little interactions. That makes daily life feel smoother, faster, almost invisible. That's the real power Apple is playing with here. But here's the catch. This magic only works if you're inside Apple's world. Without an iPhone, the watch loses almost all of its utility. Apple isn't just selling a watch. They're selling an ecosystem. And they've built it to keep you locked in. It's brilliant from a tech perspective, but frustrating if you're not an iPhone user. So what's the real takeaway here? The Apple Watch Series 11 isn't trying to wow you with a completely new design or flashy gimmicks. Instead, it's about becoming a piece of tech that almost disappears into your daily life. It's lighter on your wrist, the screen is brighter so you can read it without squinting. And the health tracking is smarter, monitoring your heart, oxygen, and stress in ways that could notice problems before you do. In other words, it's the kind of upgrade you barely think about, until there's a moment when that subtle tech actually makes a big difference. You just got the full detailed review of the Apple Watch Series 11. Here's my bottom line. If you already own the Series 9 or 10, the improvements here aren't dramatic enough to justify an immediate upgrade. But if your watch is older or you want those newer health alerts that could warn you about serious issues, it's a meaningful step forward. It's less about showing off the latest gadget, and more about whether this small device can actually help protect your health in a real, tangible way. At the end of the day, this isn't a tech flex contest. It's about practicality and safety. That tiny screen on your wrist might seem minor, but in the right moment, it could make a huge difference, maybe even save your life. If this review helped you, hit subscribe. I've got deeper dives coming on the iPhone 17, AirPods Pro, and more. And I want to hear from you. What's the one feature that really makes or breaks a smartwatch for you? Drop it in the comments, I've read every single one.